Hello, this is CY from ASK Coffee Roastery from Singapore. And this is actually, I'm recording this video to thank you for sending the beans over, which is the Bhutan Mountain coffee. Very excited, and I have also received from Dr. Lim the green beans, which I'm going to test roast now. And the purpose of this video is not is really to record my roasting process to share with you so that you know roughly my processing, my roasting thoughts on the green beans that you sent to me. So I will not be making this video public, but I will upload on YouTube so that you can take a look and you'll be unlisted. So in the future, I'm working towards a way in which we can actually be your sole distributor for the bean in Singapore, so that we really want to push the beans. But before that, let me try to roast the beans to the kind of roasting profile that I like, and then I will share with you the tasting notes. Because from the samples from the roasted bean samples you have sent to me, even that light medium roast, I think in this part of the world it is still a little bit dark, but I really like. I even do this coffee unfiltered on the medium light roast, and I actually did a milk-based coffee on the dark roast blend, which is very, very robust, very roasty. Actually, I enjoy this cup of coffee, which is roasted dark. Usually, I don't drink the darker roasted coffee, but this is one of the dark roast coffee that I really enjoy. At first, it hits you with the slight bitterness, but then it starts to have the bitter-sweet kind of tasting at the back. Very, very dark chocolatey, very full body. I think it goes really well with milk-based drink. So I really like the the light medium roast for AeroPress as a black coffee, because even though it is slightly on the darker side, but the taste of the coffee that I make out of it is there's no bitterness at all. It is very tea-like finishing, very clean, and it's one of the darker roasts of coffee that I'm willing to do on the filtered or AeroPress. So I really thank you. Sorry, this video is a little bit long. So now let me get towards the roasting of the beans. So I will be roasting 150 grams on the October harvest, and let's see how it goes. Right, so I'm going to test roast this one, which is the October harvest. So let's open this. I'm going to roast about 150 grams on my smaller sample roaster. Then I'll probably do a flat roast, which means I'll keep the heating power the same. And then my plan of the roast is around 8 to 9 minutes. And let's see how it goes with this batch of coffee. Alright, so the charge temperature that I'm going to set for this 150 gram sample roast will be at 170 degrees Celsius. So I will be charging the beans now. Right, so now you'll be seeing me charging the beans over there. This is the machine that I'm going to use for roasting. Right, coming back to the monitor, this is I'm going to share the roasting profile with you. Right, I'm going to let it soak for about a minute. I'm going to press charge, sorry. So this is actually wrong. I should click charge first. Right, I'm going to start the temperature, increasing the heating power. So it's a relatively smaller batch. So this I'll have to do a better job because I forgot to press the charge temperature. I'm going to slowly ramp up the heating power. Right, the bean has just reached its turning point at about 100 degrees Celsius. I will be monitoring the ROR, which is the rate at which the temperature rises per minute. So now it's increasing, which is what we achieve to do. We want to charge the temperature with maybe 14, 15, maybe even up to 16 degrees Celsius per minute. So I'll be increasing the heating power further so that there's enough energy for the beans. Right, the change in BT is hitting around 14 and it's still going up, which is healthy. Right, you can see that it starts to drop down. Right, I want to make it even gain more energy. So let's see whether the change in BT or R actually comes down. If it doesn't come down, then I will be maintaining the heat at 90%. You can see the heat is hovering around 16 degrees. Right. Okay, it's still going up a little bit. Okay, it is maintaining at around 15 to 16 degrees Celsius per minute change. So this is my target. So let's check the beans. It is still pretty much green. So I'm waiting for the dry end to be achieved. Right, I can see the ROR is actually dropping down a little bit. This is quite normal. Right. Right, 140 degrees Celsius on the bean temperature. So let's check the, okay, it is slightly turning yellow. Okay, dry end has been recorded on the artisan automatically, which I agree. So from now onwards, I will maintain the ROR around 12, which is good. So I do not need to adjust any of the heating power here. Right, if it goes up, then I will try to slow down the heating power a little bit. So now you can see that the ROR is actually declining without even me touching the adjusting the heating power. So for a small perforated electric roaster, the temperature will actually hover quite a bit because there's actually empty slits in my drum. So it doesn't really maintain the heat that well. So they can see that it's actually going up and down. So this is normal for this electric roaster. Right, we are hitting around 160 degrees. The beans color should be turning light brown in color. Yes, we do have that. Okay, so this is a natural declining our curve. I am trying to do a medium, maybe medium roast to this coffee. So I'm not too sure at what temperature you drop the beans over at Bhutan. Okay, for me, I'll probably drop the beans at around 195 to 196 degrees Celsius. So I will be now starting to reduce the heating power to try to control the change in BT or the RR under 10. Okay, my exhaust is actually at 20%. You can see that the change in BT is still hovering around 11 to 12. So it is still a little bit high. So I will be introducing another power change now to reduce to 70% of the heating. Right, so now you can see the change in BT is declining to around 10. Right now, the total roast time is about 7 minutes. Right, it has now gone below 10, but it's still hovering around there. I will be introducing one more power change, heating power change, right, to 60%. Right, my adjustment to heating power is based on the temperature of the bean. Okay, based on the artisan software, the first crack should be happening in about 20 seconds. Right, so now you can see the RR is declined to about 8 degrees per minute. Okay, I can hear the first crack. Okay. It is crashing a little bit. Right, I hope that it doesn't crash too low. Okay, the artisan recorded the RR. So I'm not too sure whether it's the characters of the beans to crash, because I can see my change of BT is actually going down to 2 now. So this is not normal. You can see it's going to 1.1. It's in fact going to 1. It's crashing all the way down. Okay, so this will not be a very good roast, but nonetheless we will try to cup this coffee. Right, it will be not the best because it will be the beans will be experiencing a little bit of baking because of the prolonged time. Okay, so I think I will drop the beans at around 188 for this batch of roast, and for the second batch, right, I will try to maintain the heating power for a bit longer before I actually cut the power. So from this test roasting, I will know roughly the character of the beans, and then in the next roast, I'll be improving on this. So let's now move on to cooling the beans down. Maybe you just check the quality of the roast. Right, it's pretty light. Right, let's switch on the cooler. Right, so now I'll be measuring the total loss. So I use about 150, exactly 150 grams of green beans. I'm getting about 132 grams of coffee out, so I've lost about 18 grams of coffee through moisture. I'm going to take out some bean that it's not roasted well. So let's pour the bean out and do a little bit of selections. Right, let me bring you closer. We need a little bit of salting because I think I dropped a little bit too early for this because the beans temperature is actually crashing down. So it's interesting. I've only see beans temperature crashing down on the Canyon beans, and this is my second experience whereby I see the temperature of the bean actually crash all the way down. Right, so let's take out some of this color that's slightly lighter than the rest. Okay, let's check the rose color for the beans. I think this is very light. I would guess the temperature of not the temperature, the color of the beans will probably be around Actron 80 plus. Oh, it's 76. It's actually slightly darker as I guess it to be, so it's around 76. Okay, so let's measure around 10 grams and then we'll do a carving and also at the same time check for the internal color of the beans. Okay, I'm going to vacuum my grinder so that okay, so let's measure 10 grams of the coffee. Oops. Okay, that's about 9.9 grams of coffee. So we'll grind it. Okay. Okay, let's check the internal color of the rose. Oops, my clumsy hands. Okay, let's not waste any of the bean there. $76.3, 94.5. Okay, 94.5. Okay, so now let's heat up the water and then do the carving test. Okay, let's smell it. It's very herbal. very old, very oatly. Okay, so let's wait for 4 minutes, then we break the coffee. Then another 4 minutes, we'll try to cup it. Right, it's 4 minutes. Let's break it. Okay, so now we'll wait for the 8 minutes, then we'll try to cup the coffee to taste it. Right now we are at 8 minutes. Right, so let's try to taste the coffee. As expected, it's very muted, but there is sweetness. There is actually a pleasant acidity. Even though the acidity is not very high, the sweetness is also not very high, but I can definitely taste the sweetness and the slight acidity there. Okay, so I think for this batch of roast, I understand that the bean may be crashing. So in my next roast, I will plan it better so that I'll heat up the bean a little bit. I will maintain the heating element of the roaster at a slightly higher power for a longer period of time before I start to drop it. Because I think, let me check with the second roast, which I'm going to do it tomorrow, to see whether the roast actually continue to exhibit the crashing behavior. There's some citrusy. I will not call this a fake roast. Actually, I think the taste is pretty nice. Just that I think it can be better because of the crashing and also because of the slightly elongated waiting time before I drop the beans. So definitely I have high hope for these beans. So let me test roast again tomorrow and then cup it again. Then I'll let you know, right? But this will be because this is my first time roasting this coffee. So it will take me a few tries to get it right. So yeah, so thanks for sending these beans over. I'm very, very excited. So let's see on the second roast.